The meeting's being called to order at 6 p.m. We'll begin with roll call.
Juan Cifuentes. Saúl Olivas.
Jennifer Norrell.
Amy Engel.
Jalitza Martinez.
All right.
No public comment.
No public comment. All right. Then that brings us to our first presentation. The first presentation is the O'Donnell Elementary School Improvement Plan. Presenting on behalf of the school are Tanetta Davis, principal, Paul Muchler, assistant principal, and Maritere Wise, assistant principal.
Opportunity. My name is Tanetta Davis. I'm the principal of O'Donnell School, and presenting with me tonight are my APs, Paul Muchler and Maritere Weiss. And so we're just going to go through a couple highlights from last year. So our daily average attendance last year was at 92%. We had over 60% of our pre-K students meet their language development or exceeded the language development standard. At least 50% of our kids met their projected growth in reading and math last year, which meant close to or over 200 students participated in Pancakes with the Principal as a celebration for meeting that goal. So our building-wide data, some strengths that come from our building-wide data, we have our kindergarten, our second grade team, our second grade students, and our fifth grade students showed some strengths in MAP and CFAs. In addition, our fourth grade math group made exceptional growth for their math goal. And for fifth grade, we had more students that had meets and exceeds for the IAR reading component. Some areas of target that we are looking at would be our first grade and our third grade students, which this year they'll be going into second grade and fourth grade. But we definitely want to hone in on the math for first grade, looking at some more intervention supports for them, in addition to that for reading and writing for both first grade and third grade. We also talked about from our school leadership team is diving a little bit deeper into language support for L2 in the math component of that, and ensuring that there's more visuals and dual language strategies that are happening, specifically in math. A lot of times we want to put those in the language component for reading and writing, but we want to carry those over for math to ensure that support is happening. So anchor charts, dual language strategies such as preview, view, and review, and TPR strategies to be incorporated in that. In addition, we're taking a closer look at iReady components, the MyPath, and that is an individualized plan. So once they take that diagnostic, so we want to go a deeper dive into that and incentivize that to get more use of that, so we get more data to figure out where those deficits are. And then for the CFA data, we want to be consistent across the building. And that means creating a school-wide calendar to show like when those assessments are going to happen. So if we do RI1, everyone's going to focus on that, so that can ensure that all priority standards are measured equally across all grade levels.
Before you move on, I just want to say thank you for splitting it out by grade, only because normally we see a combined or average type of thing for the school. And this really gives a good picture of where you kind of need to prioritize. So thank you.
Hello. So our first goal is going to focus on just the educational equity piece. By May of 2025, O'Donnell will decrease office discipline referrals by 10%. Part of our plan of action includes relaunching a comprehensive school-wide initiative. This will focus on intentional teaching of behavior expectations, routines, and protocols, especially for the first 6 weeks of school, but then we will revisit it throughout the school year. These will be school-wide and classroom expectations. In pre-K, these will also be teacher monitored. We will conduct frequent walkthroughs on classroom environment and Tier 1 supports. This will include a guarantee of consistent application of our Tier 1 practices in alignment with our MTSS process, development of a walkthrough checklist in association with our school leadership team to help monitor and to utilize these data points throughout the school year. We'll also implement a system of positive office referrals to encourage and acknowledge students that are consistently meeting or exceeding their behavior expectations within the classroom and overall school. Finally, we'll track and monitor the 2x10 relationship building strategy. So the 2x10 strategy is for 2 minutes a day for 10 school days. The teachers will focus on that one-on-one relationship within their class. This will increase the sense of belonging, and we'll monitor this via teacher surveys as long as teacher reflections to see how it's progressing throughout the school year.
Our goal 2 is that O'Donnell School will maintain a cumulative monthly average daily attendance rate of 95% for the 24 and 25 school year. We will be implementing a system for our Tier 2 and Tier 3 students by providing a consistent, personalized support, connecting with a trusting staff member. We are ensuring that students who struggle with their social and emotional well-being are being supported by a nurturing and safe staff member. We are going to shine a spotlight on individual student achievements with weekly celebrations, especially in the early grades who need immediate recognition instead of a longer recognition, right? To prevent losing steam. We will also employ student input and ownership by encouraging them to design posters on the importance of being in school. We are increasing the frequency and appeal of our attendance raffles, also including the recognition to the families for helping us meet our school goals. And lastly, we will encourage our staff to connect with families by writing positive postcards to recognize their efforts. So for student achievement, the first one is focusing on reading. So we want 55% of our students to meet or exceed their expected growth goals. And we are really strong and highly believe in empowering students with data. So back in the day, we did like the data binders and they're really thick once you collected all the data. So we're going to like more of a data folder type of thing. And they will do goal setting and track their reading and math and writing data through that. We want to monitor and have a better response of student progress on common formative assessments. We want to use a common graphic organizer to increase or enhance executive functioning, such as organization, and that would be pre-K all the way to 5th grade. Our family night activities, we want to align that so that families can have something to take home. We want to model that so that, what do I do with my child for reading? What do I do with my child for math? They'll have those examples to take home. And then we are, to help with that, we want to continue to improve communication with parents through our student data profile sheets that we created. We actually launched that towards the end of last year, and it was very useful. We send out MAP reports. We tell parents about their F&P, reading progress and things of that nature. So it is housed on one sheet of paper so they can see iReady, MAP, F&P all in one spot. So that's something that would be useful for our parents. And then for math, we are looking to have 60% of our students meet or exceed their expected growth goals for math. We want to have students master the Tier 2 and Tier 3 vocabulary words, and those are words that are specifically tied to math. So like understanding what's a fraction and be able to define that and those things. We want to monitor and incentivize our use of iReady and the MyPath that I talked about earlier. And that can be broken down by domain. So even as a building, we can say, hey, we want to focus on measurement and data. We can assess that through that program as well. We want to incorporate math test prep for IRA on a weekly basis. Again, with the use of iReady, because those components are sitting in there. And then we want to still keep math engaging and fun. So with the basic math practice, utilize district-approved apps and websites to help them with that. Okay, and that is the end of our presentation. Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Next up, please welcome to the podium our friends from Benavides STEAM Academy. They're here to share their school improvement plan as well. Presenting on behalf of the school are Patricia Rangel, principal, and Alexa Garcia, assistant principal.
Good evening, members of the curriculum board, Dr. Norrell, Dr. Engel, and Ms. Martinez. My name is Patricia Rangel, and I'm the principal at Benavides STEAM Academy. And with me is Alexa Garcia, our assistant principal. We would like to begin by sharing some of our highlights from the previous academic year that were achieved through a collective effort from teachers, staff, students, and parents.
So we'll start off with a little bit of a recap from last year. Last school year, we set 6 goals aligned to our district strategic plan, and we are proud to say that we met 5 of the 6 goals. We did fall a little short on our attendance goal, coming in at 94.5%, but we're going to continue to work on that this year so that we can maintain that 95% ADA.
Next, we would like to share with you our building-wide data from the last academic school year. So every Tuesday morning, our grade level teams come together for PLCs, and they come together to discuss student growth and goal setting. So at our building, our PLCs alternate between focusing on a common formative assessment or an NWEA focus each week. Our CFAs are aligned to the district priority standards, which include reading, writing, and math. And the important component of the CFA is not necessarily the average each week, but the dialogue between teachers to discuss next steps to bridge that learning gap. From here, we can also look at our NWEA data for kinder through 2nd grade, and we've identified in the components of reading each of the strands in NWEA that we have to focus on. So for example, for our kindergarteners, we know that we need to do additional work around foundational skills for our English dominant students, but language and writing for our Spanish dominant students. If we look at our 2nd grade group, collectively, we need to focus on both languages on foundational skills.
Let's take a look at our goals for the upcoming school year. Our first goal is focused around educational equity. We're going to continue to work to ensure that 95% of our students receive 1 or fewer discipline referrals over the course of the school year. Our continued success with this goal is attributed to the consistent implementation of our SEL curriculum during morning meeting time by our teachers, and the use of the levels of engagement language to promote student ownership of their behavior and their learning. New this year, we'll be doing Bengal character traits. Each month, our students will read a story tied to a specific character trait and have the opportunity to write a personal connection to that trait. We're going to be kicking off the year with kindness. So this is a really exciting way to promote literacy in writing and positive behavior. Oh, my prop. Our next goal is tied to operational excellence. Though we fell short of reaching our attendance goal last year, we're going to continue to strive towards that 95% average daily attendance rate. In addition to our personal outreach strategies, we're going to incorporate a student ownership piece. So each student is going to have an attendance goal setting sheet in their take-home folder. We have intentionally placed this in the take-home folder to help build a homeschool connection and promote a conversation around attendance. So each month, our little people are going to set a goal for how many days they're going to come to school. They'll shade in the days that they're here. And when they bring this home to mom, dad, whoever's at home, they'll be able to have a conversation about if they met their goal, if they didn't. In addition to this, we have some exciting new incentives for our students that we're looking forward to roll out and continue to promote positive attendance behaviors.
So during the WIN block, or the What I Need block, our primary focus is providing targeted small group instruction designed to address individual student needs. So this next goal is tied into our students receiving reading intervention supports, either in small groups or one-to-one based on their data. So an integral part of our goal setting, as we talked about before, is goal setting. So they will also have a data folder where they are able to track their growth from quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4 for their F&P levels. And in addition to that, then writing some action steps. Do I need to practice my sight words more? Do I need to practice fluency? So we want students to have that ownership across the board, and not only their attendance, but also in the content areas. And then our next goal is around math intervention. So last year was the first time that we included math intervention as part of our goal. Our students did really well. We had 37 students who participated in math intervention from fall to spring. We obviously had additional students in between, but maybe they only needed 6 weeks of intervention or 12. So we tracked the students that were receiving support for the whole year. So those were the 37 students. It's important to know that we set this goal now, but we still need to administer the NWA math assessment to get that baseline data and adjust our goal accordingly once we know how many students are going to be in math or reading intervention.
Our last set of goals is aligned to student achievement. Last year, we increased our reading and math goal from 60% to 65%. So that was a big jump for us. And we were super excited and proud of the growth that our students made last year. Students were also really proud of themselves. As we've mentioned with their data folders, they did have a piece for MAP as well. So following the winter administration, they were really excited to see how much they grew. It meant a lot to them to see that growth. Even if they didn't necessarily meet their goal, they were able to see that growth. So really cool tool that we started using last year with them and will continue to use this year. Following our fall administration of MAP, we look forward to getting our tutoring groups back together. We had 70 students participate in MAP tutoring. So we had both reading and math that was offered. Of those 70 students that participated in our tutoring, 54, which is 77%, met or exceeded their growth goal. So we will kick that off following the administration of MAP this year. We will also meet with our SLT to discuss our goal once we have that new set of data.
And that's it. Any questions for us?
No, I had a chance to review this earlier this weekend, and I saw good things happening. So congratulations on all of the things that have happened over the last year. I think you guys are on the right path. So continue doing a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a question for you guys. I saw that you guys had a huge growth with your MAP end of year, and then when I saw your goals, I was surprised that you guys kind of lowered them a little bit.
So we kept our goals the same as last year, only because we don't have baseline data yet. So once we administer MAP, we're thinking in September, we can reconvene with our SLT and then be able to adjust those goals. 1/3 of our building is brand new every year. So we have to wait for those 120 kindergartners to come in and gather some data from them.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next presentation is all about updating our preschool curriculum. Presenting on this topic are Rosary Horn, Director of Early Learning and Educational Grants, and then Eulalia Valdez, Executive Director of Curriculum and Instruction.
Good evening. I'm Rosary Horn.
Good evening, I'm Eulalia Valdez.
There we go. In your packet for this evening, you received information on what our current EA units and resources were, as well as supplemental materials that were previously purchased from Creative Curriculum. I want to share with you that all the materials requested this evening were vetted by pre-K staff from all 4 sites, including teachers from half-day and full-day classrooms, English and Spanish dominant classrooms, as well as our coaches, service providers, administrators, and a parent representative. In addition to vetting the materials, they all unanimously asked to update them, and the teachers involved did also volunteer to be in phase 1.
So when we're taking a look at phase 1, what this involves is the purchase of the created curriculum as well as the cloud access. With that, we are including professional development for the teachers that are going to participate in phase 1. The cost associated with phase 1 would be grant funded. Taking a look at phase 2, phase 2 will once again take a look at the implementation of the creative curriculum, the cloud access, as well as providing professional development for the teachers that are participating, as well as administrators and instructional coaches. This would bring the implementation to a full implementation, and the anticipated cost for phase 2 would also be grant funded.
And then the last slide, you find a breakdown of the proposed total cost for phase 1 that would be funded through the Early Childhood Block Grant, IDA IDEA preschool, and the ESSER 3 funds. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a quick question. When looking at this proposal, when you say that the early learning team reviewed the current materials, what do you mean by that? Did somebody pilot the curriculum? What does that mean?
So the early learning leadership team came together and we looked at all the materials that we're currently using and we compared them to the district expectations as well as our grant expectations, and found that some of the materials that we were using for creative curriculum, for instance, didn't quite meet that, but the updated materials provided by the company did.
Thank you.
And we are asking for this to go to action the same night, so we just want to let you know.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up is our parent engagement update for 24-25. Dr. Luis Gonzalez, Executive Director of Elementary School Leadership, is presenting.
Good evening, committee members, Dr. Norell, and Superintendent Cabinet members. As mentioned, I am Dr. Luis Gonzalez, and I'm proud to serve as the Executive Director of Elementary School Leadership. This year, I will work with the various East Aurora parent groups and parent liaisons to foster strong parent engagement and increase student success. Tonight, my goal is very simple, to share the various events we plan to bring families together and to share various opportunities for parents to get involved. Here you can see the big events we plan for the school year. I'm most excited for the Family Festival Hispanic Heritage Celebration in September. And we also have monthly, weekly, or quarterly opportunities for parents to connect with principals and staff members as listed on the bottom. Parents can get involved and support the efforts of the district through the African American Parent Association, the Bilingual Parent Advisory Council, East Aurora Dads, Parent Ambassadors, and the Superintendent's Parent Advisory Council. This year, the African American Parent Association will meet multiple times, and their goal is simple: to get parents involved and to build partnerships with parents and community members. Their kickoff meeting is September 12th. I'm looking forward to that one. I'll be present. We celebrate BPAC. They have been recognized by ISB for their exemplary board work and for being a model for the state. They have multiple workshops planned to equip parents and provide them the skills they need to help their child be successful socially, emotionally, and academically. Parent ambassadors will focus on strong parent involvement and parent training. East Aurora Dads will focus on strengthening the critical role of fathers. And the Parent Advisory Council will focus on culture and climate, strategic planning, and quarterly updates in Q&A. And that is my presentation. Any questions?
I do.
Yes.
Just on the dates, do we have a date scheduled or a calendar for BPAC already? Just because I know last year most of the meetings were in the morning, and I don't know if there's a survey or something that we give to the parents to see when they're available. I would like to see that kind of more open to all parents and not just morning, because I know we do have a lot of parents who work in the morning, might not make it, so maybe make it a little more flexible for them. Because I know sometimes I try to just bump in or go into some of them, but you can't, because you got to work. So I'm assuming if we look at our schedule and kind of look around and see if we are able to kind of open it up to the evening.
I know that I spoke at the school fair. I spoke to the leader that was there for that event, and she did say, only because I've attended the in the past, I've attended some of the meetings, and she said that they are going to have some evening dates. I don't know what the dates are, but she did say that they were going to have some evening dates, because she said, well, when are you going to come again? And I said, I can't come. I work. So that was the answer that I got. Sorry.
No, thank you so much for the feedback. I will connect personally with Dr. Rita Guzman, and we will make sure that we provide that flexibility for parents so they can attend.
I think, what are we doing for our parents with all of the new student information platforms? Because there seems to be a lot of confusion out there. Have we developed some videos or things that, self-help type things? Because we have got a lot of people very confused on how to use the new system. And obviously the parents need to use the new system. So Where
For
have we
synergy.
built this into all of this training?
Right, for synergy is going to be a topic that is ongoing all year. And I can look to Andy for this because I know Andy has launched this, and right now I know they're heavily working and all summer have been working on staff. Has there been a parent component? I'm not sure. I can ask. Andy, is there a parent component yet? I know the new app is the thing that everybody's working on now with the parents.
Correct. That is what we sent out to both students and parents, I believe last week, for them to get their account registered so they can see schedules, transportation routes, all that piece. There's more to come with using it. But so far the success rate has been pretty well, but we've also had a lot of questions, as you expect. So
Yes, so that's a good point. We need to have at least a table at all of our different parent meetings so that they can get some one-on-one if they struggle with still adding the app and utilizing the new platform, the new student management platform. So we'll say that we'll put a table at all of those different meetings.
I know that one of the things, I know, that's what I mean. So, I know that my kids, and I'm being honest, they are the ones that did it for me because they were quick. I'm not gonna lie, I'm savvy with it too, but they were like, I got it, and I'm like, okay. But there was a flyer that was attached, I believe, to one of the emails.
Yeah.
That kind of showed you step by step, no video, but there was a flyer that said how to do it. So.
Yeah.
And then I would also like to piggyback that, Mr. Cifuentes, that make sure that the teachers have that flyer because most parents are going to reach out to the teachers to say, hey, how do I do this? So make sure that they're also aware on how to do that as well.
Oh, yeah. Yes, they have been through the training. Yeah.
Or developing maybe a YouTube video because now we fix everything on YouTube.
Yeah,
So-
that's how we've been, that's what they've been doing to train our staff is the videos. So they can do one for parents. That's a great idea. I did get confirmation there are 2 evening dates scheduled for BPAC. I know most of the BPAC board, unlike the other committees, I know they have their own board, which is tied to how they operate, is tied to grant funding. But that is what worked best for the board members during the day. But they are honoring and listening and definitely have 2 dates. And we will get those dates out soon, right? Rita just shared.
Yes, I can finalize those very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next topic is a review of our summer professional development work and our curriculum work. And I have the opportunity to share that information. My goodness, did we have an amazing summer. Over the summer, we had 280 professional development opportunities and 5,904 participants. Wow. The sessions focused on 4 different professional learning strands to support the staff, including new curricular resources, dual language offerings, technology platforms, and block scheduling. Staff attended powerful sessions focused on the tools, instructional strategies, student supports, and more. So what did they say about it? Attendees shared feedback from their experiences, and some excerpts from the staff are included on the slide there. In addition to the great experience they had during the sessions, the staff had access to a Google site where we maintain links to those resources, all the recordings, and more, so that they can refer back to those in the future as well. And staff really shared how useful it was to have access to see those things later. In addition to our professional development, we had a summer full of curriculum work as well. Our staff spent time writing to support work for the upcoming school year. We had a total of 186 teachers who spent over 8,500 hours this summer writing curriculum to support our students and strengthen our programs. The most popular writing categories were about block scheduling and prioritizing student engagement, common formative assessment, and then preparing for our new courses. And on this slide, you see a word cloud that showcases some of our most often referenced keywords for our curriculum writing projects. The larger the words, the more projects completed within that category. You can really see that important work was being done and shared then across the district. And in order to accomplish that task of sharing, we have a Google site that we've created and we're starting to build out with all of those curricular materials and resources that were worked on this summer, and it'll be available across buildings, and it has a breakdown by grade levels and courses. So it's really good stuff. What questions can I answer about summer professional learning or curriculum writing?
No, it's great to see that, so many teachers participated. I mean, 186 is quite a bit, and I think that's an increase probably from last year, or maybe close to it, but we can't do it without you guys, so thank you.
Yeah, we're really lucky that we have such dedicated staff that jump in. That's amazing.
I just want to say thank you to all those teachers that were writing or improving the curriculum for the district. I know it's hard work, and sometimes people don't see the hard work that you're putting into it. So I was doing that this summer as well. So again, thank you to all those teachers that were working on curriculum writing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay.
The last thing on our agenda is the enrollment and registration update. And just so you know, as of the 14th of August, we had 94% of our students registered. And although I don't have any numbers for the last week, we have seen an abundance of friends here to register. So it is clear that we are doing a great job getting all of our friends ready to go for the first day tomorrow.
Awesome. I would like to just a quick request for our next curriculum meeting, if possible. I would like to see like the total number or DL students that we have in our school district. Just I think we're K through, well, if we got fourth and then we got seventh grade, it covered seventh, right? Seventh, I believe. So I would like to see how many students we have currently in our district dual language, how many from K to fourth have kind of opt out, and where we have those located at, just to kind of see those numbers if possible.
I can answer that now. You want us to opt out?
Well, it's up to you.
Oh yeah, no, we can answer that now. And I'm gonna call on Rita because I know you have this number. Opt-out numbers are very small. In fact, they don't have pure grade levels attached to them. We combine them. And so right now, I believe we have opt-outs. Rita, do you have, I'm gonna put you on the spot, but I know you have those numbers. 31 opt-outs, K through 4. That's it.
And where are those students attending? Still at Brady?
No, they're at Bartwell. Yep, we shifted based on utilization of programming and space and staffing of admin. Yep.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, I'm so glad we could answer that. And one more. Sorry.
The Adventures program. So we only have 21 students in it, only one in first grade. Are we not identifying those kids because we keep, hearing about discipline and all of those things? So how are we doing with Adventures?
Yeah, Adventures. Sorry, I'm not on. Am I on now? Okay. And I will also allow Jalitza, I know you're just taking the realm, but also allow Megan to speak to this as well. But many of the students that either go over they go over during the year at different times, and then based upon their success at Adventures, they are then afforded an opportunity to go back. And so at these lower grade levels, that means that there was lower numbers coming in from kinder that would go to first from last school year. So we have worked to identify, because for years I had been saying, what is our clear process, and do our teachers know the process? And so that is something that the team was able to work on and clearly define as far as how you get there, and then what's the data points that we're using to bring them back. Because that was something that's been missing, which would account for the lower numbers. I know our teachers certainly want to know.
130 students outplaced. Does that is that a lot of it is with Hope Wall, or is that just a lot of other places?
No, they're placed everywhere. That's total, I believe, by grade level across the district. So, and these students listed as outplaced primarily are outplaced based upon their IEP. I know I sign the paperwork every year for their placement, and most of those students have more severe needs, and they're outplaced based upon the IEP for services that can be provided elsewhere and not here because of the level of services.
I would just be curious to see what outplaced organizations we're using.
Oh yeah, we can definitely. I could rattle them off because they're on the forms that I signed. But we could actually give a listing of the outplace and how many kids are at each one. Yeah, that would be great. We could bring that back. Mr. Fuentes, put it on there.
Okay, all right.
And this year we have Beaupre with 5th grade students, right? So I see that we have a 36. Last year they didn't. I think they had 2. So I'm kind of happy to see that that has now built up to 5th grade.
Yes, for Beaupre? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they had a gap year coming through the year we did the great band project. Yeah,
Okay,
those kiddos are.
all righty.
Good luck to all the teachers tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, with that, we are calling our meeting to a close, and it is 6:36. Sorry, it's so tiny I can't even see it. So thank you so much.
All righty.